Hello everyone, welcome to Bhadra Academy. In our daily quiz series, today we are going to look at the episode 27, questions 261 to 270. So question number 261, which was described by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as the heart and soul of our constitution. So if you look at the correct answer, the heart and soul of our constitution basically refers to the fundamental right to constitutional remedies, right? So therefore the correct answer is the right to constitutional remedies. So the right to constitutional remedy basically empowers the citizens to move the court of law in case of any denial of fundamental rights, by the government, right? So this is what Dr. Ambedkar considered as the heart and soul of our constitution. Question number 262. In India, the concept of single citizen is adopted from which country, right? So the concept of single citizenship is adopted from which country? That is the basic question. So if you look at the whole concept of single citizenship, right, it is basically adopted from England, right, the UK. So the options are like England, USA, Canada, France. So the correct answer is A, that is the adopted from England. Like the Indian constitution borrowed many features like a parliamentary form of government, introduction of speaker, speaker's role, etc. from England. Therefore, you can say that, our constitution actually is an evolution. We taken ideas from various sources. Question number 263. The method of impeachment of the President of India is adopted from which country? So the option is USA, UK, USSR, France. So the correct answer here would be USA, right? So the Indian Constitution has borrowed some features from the US Constitution like fundamental rights, independence of judiciary, judicial review, also including the impeachment of the President. Clear? So when you are going for exams, competitive exams, this kind of basic concepts you should be familiar. Question number 264. The concept of constitution was first originated in which country? Right? So we have a Switzerland, Britain, USA, Japan, and the correct answer would be Britain. Right? So the correct answer is Britain. So now, though we had the idea, even earlier also, but the recognition basically is given to Britain. So if you see 1100, 1250, like various things were there. So Henry I's proclamation of the Charter of Liberties, bound the king for the first time in his treatment of the clergy and the nobility. So this idea was later extended and refined by the English, barony when they forced the King John to sign the Magna Carta 1215, right? So that is how slowly the idea, of the constitution basically emerges. Question number 265. Persons may change, but rules should not change, right? So this idea basically is the principle of which of the following? Absolute monarchy, constitutional government, unwritten constitution, republic. Where does this fit in? So the correct answer would be B, constitutional government, right? Because the rules are above everybody. So persons may come and go, but rules cannot change, right? So the constitutional government is defined by the existence of constitution where everyone has to follow the basics of the constitution. Question number 266. Liberal theory of democracy as emphasized by John Locke, it deals with which of the key ideas, right? So here we have the, option economic liberty, intellectual liberty, right? Various options are there. So the correct answer is universal adult franchise and the right to property. That is the correct answer. So the universal adult franchise and the right to property, that is the basic emphasis of what we can say John Locke idea of what we can say liberal theory of democracy. Question number 267. cabinet system and collective responsibility are the contributions of which country? Like from where we have taken this idea. So the correct answer here would be D, Britain, right? See, many things we have borrowed basically from Britain and USA, right? And some concepts from Australia also. So the cabinet system and its collective responsibility is a constitutional convention in the governments using the Westminster system that the members of the cabinet must publicly support all government decision, etc. Right. So this idea, cabinet system and collective responsibility, the concept is taken from the UK, yeah, what we can say, Britain, right? Question number 60 to 68. January 26 selected as the date for the inauguration of the constitution. Why? Because of what reason? Right? So if you look at the reason, because of what reason? It was considered to be an auspicious day. On that day, the Quit India movement was started. Yeah, the Congress had observed it as the Independence Day in 1930. Yeah, none of these. So the correct answer is option C. Because the Congress had observed it as the Independence Day in 1930. Because on 26 January 1930 at Lahore, the Indian National Congress passed the Purna Swaraj resolution, okay, declaring what we can say a complete independence from the British rule. So to commemorate that, we have kept as the 26th January. Question 269. Which one of the following is not an element of the state? Population, land, army, government, right? So which is not, an element of the state? So the correct answer is army. Why? Because population, land, government, and the fourth one, sovereignty, yeah, independence. These are the underlying characteristics, elements of a state, like sovereignty, but not army. Like you may not have an army, right? Like Bhutan, India looks after the Bhutan ka security, Indian army is there. Question number 270. The concurrent list in the Indian constitution is adopted from the constitution of which country? USA, Canada, Germany, Australia. So the correct answer here would be Australia. Now what is concurrent list? Concurrent list ये होता है जिसमें union government as well as the state government can make legislation, right? So they both have the responsibility to deliver the duties in the concurrent list. For example, education, right? In India, education was earlier in the state list, then it was moved to concurrent list. That means now both center and state are responsible for education in India. That is the basic idea, what we can say, concurrent list. And so the concurrent list idea, we have taken it from Australia. Clear? So if you are preparing for SSC, banking, railway, ADRE, SI, etc., right? If you need any coaching, training or any study material or MCQs, contact Bhadra IAS Academy at 8638391721. Okay. Keep watching our quiz series. We'll come out with plenty of questions for your exam preparation. Thank you.